Rams fans, welcome in on this edition of Rams Showcase. Training camp is underway. Who to keep your eye on this preseason? Plus, uniforms. When will we get them? What will they look like? I'll take my guess and later from the people. It's Fan Quesos. Let's rock.
This is Rams Showcase with your host, Sheriff Joe Bags.
Yes, welcome into it, Rams Showcase. My name is Sheriff Joe Bags. We are in training camp. We're gone camping. It's pretty good times right now. As far as training camp coverage goes, we are obviously going to be covering that pretty heavy now, as we are back to the weekly episodes of Rams Showcase. But a little of a tag here for you as Tuna, who I also do the podcast, the Tuna and the Sheriff podcast of the First and Tuna podcast. He's actually credentialed out there and at training camp and doing all, he's in the press conferences and stuff like that. He's got some extremely good insight. So if you have not already, I would highly recommend following Tuna on socials. Back on Twitter, by the way. So First and Tuna podcast on Twitter. You can check him out there. I know his Substack is where the bulk of the information is going. So as much as I'm going to cover the training camp, one of the homies is out like boots on the ground, dude. So definitely be checking out Tuna's coverage as well as the training camp coverage of the First and Tuna podcast and all of his, the blogs and the tweets and all the places. Is going to be very good coverage because it is very much firsthand. What I'm looking at here is just, the reports and all the stuff that I have access to. But Tuna has been an awesome resource for myself, and he can certainly be that for you as well. All you got to do is follow along this journey, all right? In the 2025 Los Angeles Rams, this is a good time to be getting into it, as I kind of see the start of training camp as the official start of the season. Like, we're underway now, dude. We're off and running, and it's all systems go until hopefully February. You know what I mean? Hopefully we're going all the way until it's, almost warm again. And it's hot now. So that's kind of the plan. You know what I'm saying? Well, in Colorado, it's definitely cold through like May, but you get the point. You know what I mean? As we hop in at Ram Showcase, at Sheriff Joe Bags is where you can follow along on socials, ramshowcase.com. As my schedule is about to lighten up here, at the beginning or in the middle of August, I'm going to get a lightened schedule out. I'm just going to give myself a quota of stuff that I need to do on ramshowcase.com. I have done you a disservice of not being as on top of that as I want to be. And, of course, just having the website is something I want to get to be a bit of a Rams, hub of just sweet information. So that's good news there. Let's go ahead and get into it, though. Training camp officially underway. These are just some notes that we're talking about here. Again, I would say that the best coverage that you're going to get from training camp is not going to be me kind of analyzing this information, which is certainly a solid option as well, because I like to look at it from a different perspective, not just the information that's given to us and relaying that. I like to kind of give my analysis of it. And I have covered this team for a good chunk of time now. There's definitely some veterans out there. But this is season 10 of just this podcast, and I covered the Rams for a few years before starting the podcast in a written form as well. So I feel like I got the trends, and I got the way to break down certain information that comes our way. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Kyren Williams is attending training camp despite negotiations still ongoing. He did kind of make some comments of like, obviously I'm here. Why wouldn't I be here? This is what I do. Which, I mean, has got to make you feel good. And you gotta love the comments too that, he's not just, trying to get as much money as possible, but he's trying to help re-support the people that helped him throughout this whole process. So him getting another contract, him getting his second NFL contract post-rookie deal, I think is ultimately just a big family event for Kyren Williams. So we absolutely love to see that. K-Dub, fan favorite, and his way that he's handling these negotiations certainly in line with everything that we've kind of heard and have known about Kyren Williams with his time with the Los Angeles Rams. It also does tell us that this relationship is very positive right now. It is very good. There's not any bad blood going on right now between the two sides. So that's obviously really good news. Obviously, a deal could be done at any moment. This is being recorded right now. It is the 24th of July, Training camp is actually underway as I'm talking, so there may be some information here that I am missing. If there's any injury updates, anything like that I am missing, the training camp is just starting right now. So keep that in mind just while we kind of discuss some of this stuff. But Kyren Williams is his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, I believe is his agent, and the Rams front office were scheduled to meet on the 23rd of July. We did not get any updates from that, which, I mean, take that good or bad, however you need to. I'm not necessarily worried, especially the vibes that Kyren has given off in his press conferences and at training camp. Seems like all things are positive. I mean, what did Tuna sent me a text that Kyren came out doing some yelling Rams house and stuff, or whose house and all that stuff. So that's good news, man. That's positive. That shows that this is a good grouping right now. And I think, too, it shows a lot for these young guys who would be in a position to take over Kyren Williams if a deal weren't to get done. And I think Kyren Williams knows that. So if he's not at camp and you got Blake Corum, Jarquez Hunter, Ronnie Rivers out there that are fighting for playing time, and if a deal doesn't get done, they know that could be their starting job next season. The 26 Rams could be, the starter could be Blake Corum, you know what I mean? So I think that's a big thing as well, to kind of show these younger guys how you handle a negotiation in a mature, professional way, which is, I think, exactly what Kyren Williams is doing. I got zero complaints about how this is being handled right now. I wish a deal had been done already. As we are starting training camp, you don't want to still be having these conversations come training camp, because then obviously you get situations like the Cincinnati Bengals are in with Hendrickson. There's some other holdouts as well throughout the league, but the good news is our guy is not even a hold in. He's not just showing up to practice and not participating. He's doing the stuff. So you got to think that from his perspective as well, a lot of confidence that a deal will get done. Also, Kevin Dotson confirms once again he is the swag master of the Rams. Pull it up with the dyed hair with the horns, dude. There is not enough positive words in the English language for me to talk about Kevin Dotson. It doesn't exist. That guy's absolutely awesome. He's got the coolest number on the team. He's got one of the coolest personalities on the team. He's rocking the sunglasses. By the way, this last episode of Behind the Grind, if you didn't catch that, absolutely incredible. And that had Kevin Dotson out in Maui doing like the fishing and stuff like that. That series is unbelievable. It's so good. Rob Havenstein featured on that one. It's such a good show. So if you haven't checked that out yet, be sure to do so. And Kevin Dotson becoming more of a fan favorite, I think, every single day, dude. That's good news from your right guard. You know what I mean? That's usually not a position. It's like, dude, that right guard is awesome, you know? So it's good to see that the Rams nailed one of those. In less awesome offensive lineman news, Alaric Jackson not at the start of camp. The Rams have technically kind of told us without telling us that this might be a little bit more serious than maybe we're thinking. It's hard to kind of judge because we haven't necessarily been told, and it does sound like there's a plan in place for Jackson in some kind of sense to deal with the situation of the blood clots and still participate in playing football this year, and that there is a plan in place for that to be a successful journey. What we do know is that the Rams did sign David Quessenberry and DJ Humphries, and I mean, that's obviously, we're best when Alaric Jackson, AJ Jackson, when he is the left tackle. We are at our best when he is that guy. I don't think, though, that losing AJ Jackson means that we should just pack it in. All right, what's up with the 26 Rams? Like, this one's not going to work out. I think that the depth that the Rams have at this position can at least get us by. I think we will be okay. But again, I understand that first and foremost, you know, AJ Jackson and his presence on the football field is, you know, that makes us the best Rams football team. But more importantly than that is AJ Jackson's health and long-term health and being able to have a life post-football that isn't, you know, negatively impact in any way. So that's obviously number one, making sure that AJ is good to go for not just football and this season and next season and however many seasons he wants to play, but also post-football and making sure that he can live a valuable life after that. Not saying that that's like at risk or anything like that, but that is something that I think of for all of these guys is like, you know, the comments of Puka Nacua wanting to retire at 30. First of all, Mike Williams just did that. So totally reasonable thing to do. And I think that if you leave the game at 30, you retire at 30. First of all, awesome. I'm 34 right now, nowhere close to retiring. Probably won't. It's fine. But they gotta love that, man. I think it's absolutely awesome. And Puka Nacua being able to kind of do that and then leave with health and whatever he has at the end of that, hopefully a bunch of Super Bowl rings and stuff like that. Then I think I've got zero complaints about people retiring early, especially when it's a crazy game out there, dude. People get hurt, people get beat up. You're not going to make it through completely healthy. It's not possible. They even say like your chances of getting hurt while playing football are 100%. Like to the severity is up in the air, obviously, but you're going to get hurt playing football. It's just the way this game is. But obviously, the most important thing is A.J. Jackson's long-term health and health even going into this season. Second most, though, would be who's playing left tackle and are they getting it done? Whoever it happens to be, I think that it is important to note, though, that we've got 3 guys that we can kind of cycle in and see who sticks. We're just flipping noodles at the wall right now. Which one of those bad boys is sticking, all right? Is it going to be David Quessenberry? Is it going to be DJ Humphries? Is it going to be my pick, which is Warren McClendon? We'll see, all right? I'm not married to that idea, and if Warren McClendon's not the guy, I'm not going to be sitting here like, well, they made a bad call. Yeah, that happens. But that's kind of where I'm at right now with the A.J. Jackson situation. It's something that we are still kind of monitoring, I suppose, as media members. But it is worth noting as well that he is at camp. He is doing some stuff off to the sides. We're just kind of taking it day by day and just making sure that he is absolutely good to go, not putting him in a situation that could cause some other problems. Other news, reports say Matthew Stafford is dealing with some back soreness and is going to have what can be summed up as a limited camp, I would say. But at his age and his experience, I really don't think it's much to think about. I would say also, if you heard that Matthew Stafford's dealing with back soreness, and if you think for 1 second that this means that Matthew Stafford won't play week 1, you're out of your mind, dude. All right? Matthew Stafford's playing week 1, all right? He could lose his left arm. Guess who's playing week 1? Matthew Stafford, dude. I don't see the fact that anybody has been like, is he going to play? It's like, yeah, dude. What are you talking about? Is he going to play? Man, you could rip off both of his legs. That dude's going to be hobbling around, rolling around, throwing bombs, bro. It's just the way it is, man. But also, he is expected to return to team practice. He is doing some stuff off to the side, but he is expected to return to full team practice on Monday. And also just wanted to talk about some of these guys as we have some standouts, some guys that are turning some heads, man, raising some brows. And that's some good news as obviously the more names that are on that list, the better you're looking, dude. So we got Davante Adams, and I think that this is mainly because we haven't seen Davante Adams part of the Rams before. I think that Davante Adams is probably just being Davante Adams out there. If I had to guess, I'm not there. I'll have to talk to Tuna about that, but I'm pretty sure Davante Adams just is Davante Adams, and everybody out there's like, damn, that's Davante Adams, you know what I mean? Which is very exciting. I'm not trying to down anybody here. I would be the same, watching this guy out here. It's just a different skill set. I do think that it's an improvement in the wide receiver room, bringing in Davante Adams. But I think that his body of work speaks for itself. And I think that his athleticism speaks for itself. I think the way he ended the season last year and how well he was playing, I think it speaks for itself. We saw him against the Rams. He had that crazy touchdown against us in the back of the end zone. So sick. First of all, I was mad at the time. But now, looking back on it, I was like, all right, he's doing those for us now. So hard to be super upset about it. Jordan Whittington as well. Turning some heads, getting a lot of attention right now. Seems to be the perfect just scheme fit for the LA Rams offense and Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford. So we are expecting a bit of a jump from Jordan Whittington. If that doesn't happen, that's not to say it won't happen. He's still a pretty young guy, but it does seem like that's going to be the case. Also, that Royal and Soul clothing line got dropped with Jordan Whittington, and the dude, Gary the Ram, man, being part of that photo shoot was absolutely so sick, dude. Gary's one of the nicest dudes I've ever met being out at the SoFi tailgates in the pink lot, man. He is so freaking cool. So to see him, he was fan of the year last year, but to see him kind of get involved with some more stuff like actual team stuff, not just like being a fan out there crushing beers. I don't even know if he drinks, but just having a good time with all the Rams fans out in the pink lot and stuff like that. To then turn that into being able to be part of the media stuff and be part of this clothing line release alongside Jordan Whittington. Dude, I absolutely love it. there's nothing more exciting to me than watching the homies do cool things with their, like, I'm so pumped for Tuna right now, getting credentialed out there. I'm so pumped for Gary getting in there, being part of the media release of the Royal and Soul line. I'm just so fired up for these dudes. People that absolutely deserve it to be in these positions and to feel their fandom become, as like part of the team. That's so awesome. So I'm absolutely thrilled for these guys, man. So pumped. Next up, Kobe Durant. He's flying around out there. I think that a lot of people kind of pencil in Kobe Durant as a possible explosion guy this year, like a guy who like really stands out. And I think that we're already seeing that in camp. And this is football. You know what I mean? Like, I realize that the large majority of people kind of see football as just like the game. And yeah, that's obviously like the most important part of it. But to me, football in itself is the drills, is the practice, is the 7-on-7s, it is the 1-on-1s. I love that stuff. So to see Kobe Durant thriving in that environment, obviously that's good news. Will likely translate into the regular season, as Kobe Durant is already a really good player. If he can take that game to the next level, we might have an absolute stud on our hands, man. That's good news. Sean Dolak turned some heads as well. There was one play that was reported on by Stu Jackson of Dolak getting in on Jimmy Garoppolo, forcing the ball out a little early. But good news from Sean Dolak, undrafted linebacker out of Buffalo. And so obviously that's a position grouping that is a little bit up in the air. We do lose Christian Roseboom, but Troy Reeder is back. Omar Spates is back. We add a Nate Landman. We draft a Pooh Paul. So it is a bit of a loaded group in my opinion, although there is no, right now, true standouts. So could Sean Dolak get into that room? Absolutely could be getting into that room. Definitely a name to watch when we get into preseason. And then two corner names here, Charles Woods and Emmanuel Forbes getting some love. Emmanuel Forbes has been getting plenty of love from head coach Sean McVay, so that is a name to keep our eyes on. I think that ultimately you get a corner on the Rams long enough to get that Aubrey Pleasant coaching really instilled in them, and I think that all of these guys will be monsters, man. So I absolutely love to see it. DK is another one that for myself I'm a big fan of. I think I said it last episode that, like, I think other teams' fan bases like Darian Kendrick more than our fan base does, which is wild, dude. The kid is so good. It's like being mad at Janoris Jenkins because he was trying to jump routes all the time and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, it hasn't turned into the pick sixes like it did with Jack Rabbit, but like, he's that kind of player, man. So I don't know, man. I think he's really good. You watch the All-22s, and that dude's killing it out here. Good stuff. Moving on to the uniforms. Uniform updates. Well, there are none. Moving on. No, I'm just kidding. So we're very much at the tail end of the release wave of alternate uniforms. The Rams have not released nor commented on a potential upcoming release of alternate uniforms. We got the Green Bay Packers alternates, their 1923 throwbacks. We got those today. Those helmets are so dope, dude. Maximum dope for the Packers helmets. Absolutely love them. Jerseys I could live without, but those helmets are absolutely incredible. I want to say that Texas A&M was the first to do that style of like a leather helmet painted onto the helmet. I think it was Texas A&M. I know that happened a few years back, but it has become a trend a little bit more recently. But those are absolutely awesome. I'm a huge fan of the Steelers alternates. I know that's not a popular opinion. Doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I don't just latch on to majority opinions. I just kind of form my own. I realize that's weird, but yeah, I love those Steelers throwbacks. Those are absolutely cool. My favorite uniform from last year was those Giants throwbacks that they wore in week 1. I thought those were so dope, dude. So absolutely love it, man. But as far as the Rams go, we do not have any updates as far as when we're getting them, if we're still getting them. I know we've been in line to get alternates for the last few years, and it still hasn't happened. So I'm almost tempering expectations, almost like thinking that Kevin Demoff or Tony Pastores is going to come out and be like, yeah, we ain't getting those. It's going to be like, again, dude? Stop doing that to me. But if we're not going to get new uniforms, can we at least get more bone games, dude? If we're not going to get new alternates, can we at least we're allowed to wear 4 alternates, all right? Alternates 4 times, not including the rivalries, which I'll get into in a second. And if that's the case, man, I need to see at least 3 bone games, man. I love the bone uniforms. It's my number 1 favorite. I realize that's also an unpopular opinion, but I think that they're so unique, super, super cool. That color is just it's not seen in sports outside of like the Milwaukee Bucks. So I absolutely love it, man. I'm a big fan. Rivalries uniforms, by the way, and alternate uniforms are separate events. And the rivalries would fall closer to what I would consider like the color rush kind of category than the throwback category or alternate category. So they are different, and I don't think that everybody kind of understands that part of it. But the rivalries uniforms, they have not been released. No word on if any alternate logos will be released, which leads me into the internet rumors that took off after a picture of a hat was posted on Twitter as a possible rivalries logo. The photo was of a hat that is already released as part of a line that includes all NFL teams with altered logos, and only 2 divisions are starting the rivalries uniforms this season, and that is the NFC West and the AFC East. Many teams were shown with logos that were altered on that cream-colored background. If you saw some other photos, you could see like Vikings, Chargers, stuff like that in the back there. Those are not divisions who are getting rivalries logos this year, and those hats are already released. That R logo with the horn on it is not the rivalries logo. It's just a logo that's on a hat that happens to be from New Era. There is nothing related to the rivalries logo when it comes to, or like any logo. There's also no word that we're getting a new logo for the rivalries, and in fact, I would argue that that's not part of it at all, where it's only going to be a uniform thing, not a logo thing. I'm not expecting any alternate logos. So I'm not even sure where this really spun off of. I think it was just a misunderstanding, but an unfortunate one because I know a lot of people are very excited for alternate items, and the branding still is not everybody's cup of tea. I mean, for myself though, you put this logo on a Super Bowl championship hat, I love it. I love it forever, dude. That's a Super Bowl winning logo. I'm in forever, dude. You can keep this logo for the rest of our lives. I'm fine. It's on a Super Bowl championship hat. What? Like, come on now. That's incredible. The only thing that we have seen, by the way, from the rivalries uniforms, we did get a tweet today from the Seahawks that said, who are we going to wear it against? Yeah, but that didn't really tell us anything. But we did get a picture, a black and white picture of Puka Nacua rocking the number 12. And I'll put it up on screen for you video watchers, for you audio listeners. I'll just try to do my best. But it does look like a light base helmet and darker horn. So that's something that we've never seen before in Rams history, is a light helmet with a dark horn. So that is something to kind of keep our eyes on, I suppose. But we can also see that the uniform does appear to be somewhat dark, but also has gradient numbers. I'm going to lock in a guess here, okay? Based on what you can see with this Puka Nacua uniform, I'm going to lock in a guess based on this graphic. Simply based on this graphic, I'm going to guess that we do a yellow helmet with a navy blue horn. Navy blue horn, not the royal horn. And I'll be honest, I'll be a lot more stoked if it's a bone-colored helmet with a blue horn on it. I think that would be absolute pinnacle, but that's just my own opinion. Again, I love the bone. I think that we get navy blue jerseys. It is kind of hard to see with the smoke on the graphic, but I do think that the sides possibly have a different color on them, but definitely the shoulder. And I would say that the shoulder probably, if I had to guess, would feature a royal blue, probably some yellow in there as well, that sole on the shoulder as well. I haven't seen anybody comment on this yet, and I haven't even had this conversation in my private chats, so this is actually news to them as well, that I think those pants are gradient. I think that they look like they kind of shift from one color to another. So I'm going to go ahead and guess that it goes navy into royal blue. So blue into blue, but a darker blue into our royal blue. I would maybe yellow is part of that, but I would say maybe not. I'm going to think that we get a navy jersey, navy pant, and then it fades into blue. I think it'll look a little bit weird, but I think we'll get really used to it. So that's good news. But that is my guess for the pants here. And I think that ultimately I want to kind of tag this with, I've got no true idea. Like, I've got no insight. This is purely guessing off this picture of Puka Nacua and the increased use of the navy blue in graphics as well as team gear. If you watch things like Behind the Grind and all that, you see a lot of gear that has royal and navy on it. So they are combining those two blues together as well, and I think that that's important. But I've got no true insight on this. I don't have any sources. I don't have anybody in my ear telling me what's going on. That's just my guess. I'm going to guess yellow or bone helmet with navy horn is kind of my guess, although I could see royal being there. A navy jersey with royal and yellow and soul accents with I think, by the way, royal to yellow, royal to soul on the gradient numbers is what I'm guessing as well. Then I'm going to guess navy into royal gradient pants is what we're going to see. That's just guesses, though. I've got no true information on that. Let me know what your guesses are, though. Based on this graphic, what do you think these uniforms are going to look like? And also, when do you think we get them? That's important stuff. Take a quick break. On the other side, we'll get into the news. It's Rams Showcase. Real quick, just wanted to interject here. As I was recording, we actually did get some uniform news. Someone was having a chat with Kevin Demoff on Twitter, and he did let it be known that we are actually only expecting the Rivalry's uniforms this year. So there is no alternate that is expected, which is unfortunate. But the Rivalry's uniforms, that is what the Puka Nacua picture is kind of showcasing. So those are still on the way, but no alternate uniform. Demoff did mention that no NFC, or he thought that no NFC West and no AFC East teams released a alternate uniform this year. I do believe that is correct. I know no NFC West teams did. I believe no AFC East teams did, but those are the two divisions being represented by the Rivalry's uniforms. So that is why we are not going to get an alternate uniform this season, which is, like I said, unfortunate. We did the rebrands a few years back, and we were supposed to get 5 uniforms with that. We have 3, and these were supposed to be out. The 2 others were supposed to be out a few years ago. So I think from the fan perspective, I think it is getting a little bit frustrating that we had this whole rebrand, all this excitement around uniforms. We were going to get a new uniform every single year, and it's actually been many that we've gotten a new one. So we don't get a lot of bone-colored games anymore. So I think that the uniforms, while I love them, and I've got 0 complaints about the uniforms, I think that when we're told that we're going to have other options, I think that this is extremely underwhelming, that we're getting into now the 2025 season, having the rebrand happen so long ago, promised 5 uniforms, and still only having 3. So that's just my own perspective, just my own little quick opinion in there. It is a little bit frustrating. I think that the fan base is ultimately feeling that way. That it's just give us the uniforms, dude. Like, we're getting to that emotion now. So just wanted to pop in. That is an official update on the uniforms. So we do have somewhat of an answer. No alternates, just the rivalries heading into the 2025 NFL season for the LA Rams. Now we'll be right back. It's Rams Showcase. Welcome back in, Rams Showcase. My name is Sheriff Joe Bags. Time for the news. First up, Behind the Grind is an absolute monster. It's absolutely killing it, and that team is incredible. That counts as news, right? That's all, though. That's all I've got. The entire team, I think that they absolutely crush it. I definitely want to be part of that team somehow, eventually. Doing media stuff like that, obviously. I think that the way they shoot it, the way they edit it, the way they tell those stories, I think it's absolutely incredible. If you have not seen it, do yourself that favor and get to it, because it's absolutely incredible. It'll fire you up so much, dude. It'll get you so stoked for Rams that, I mean, there's no stopping that train, man. But it's just cool to see that the way they're able to kind of pull it. I love this team with my whole heart, dude. But it's cool that they're like, it makes me like Big Rob more. It makes me like K-Dot more. It makes me like Puka more. And I didn't even know that was possible. You know what I mean? So there's the way that they tell the story. It's just such a solid production. I've got 0 complaints about it. And I watch a lot of other teams' productions as well. Seattle's is called Before the Noise, which I think is a great name. I mean, I hate to compliment, but it's a great name. I haven't seen most of theirs yet, but yeah, stuff like that. And I know the Browns actually have a really good one. They do a good job. Chargers actually do a really good job. There's a few teams that have really good productions in this time of year, and I just think it's fun to kind of dive into other teams and kind of see what they're doing as well. But the Behind the Grind is as unbiased as I can try to be, being surrounded by this stuff right now. And being who I am as a person, I think that Behind the Grind is, if not 2, it's the best one out there. I think it's absolutely great. Rams signed quarterback Dresser Wynn, which I thought they did. I thought I reported this like 2 weeks ago. And then it came out that they did this. I don't know what happened, but I even talked about him on episode 6. This is episode 8. I talked about him on episode 6 when I was doing the offensive breakdown. I was like, yeah, we'd also just brought in Dresser Wynn. I don't know. I think I'm getting Mandela affected, dude. It's crazy out here, man. It's weird, but love it. Either way, he's here now. And it's like some things are true, dude. Some things are just true, all right? Water's going to be wet. You're going to have to pay your taxes. The Rams are going to sign Troy Reeder and Dresser Wynn. Those are just the rules, dude. I don't make the rules. We just have to follow them, all right? In Rams-related news, T.J. Watt signs a $41 million a year deal over 3 seasons. He is the highest-paid non-quarterback in the NFL. How is this relevant to the Rams? Well, Jared Verse is an absolute murderer entering year 2. If he continues on his current trajectory, we can expect him to beat that number, I would say. I would say that if he is on path and continues to get better every single year, we do have that option, obviously, of under the current CBA to hit him with a 5th-year option, although that's kind of rude. But we do have that option to kind of help the team as far as affordability and all that stuff. But this is also a few years down the road where we may not be in a situation where that's a problem to go ahead and pay one of our defensive, killers out here. So there's obviously that. But yeah, if he's getting better every single season, I don't think there's any real reason to think that Jared Verse won't be signing like a 45. But even that, I mean, these numbers go up quick. So we could be looking at a $50 million a year Jared Verse when it's all said and done, when it's time to go for contract number 2 for Jared Verse. But obviously we got him on a rookie deal now, only going into year 2. So we got him this year, following year, 27. And that's at least under his regular rookie contract. Could get him under 28 for that 5th-year option. And if we really want to play a hardball, you got 29 and 30 under franchise tag. So Jared Verse could be a Ram for a very long time. We're hoping he's a Ram for his entire career, much like the late great. He didn't die. Aaron Donald. He's not. There's a lot of people dying right now. All right, this has been a rough week for deaths, but not Aaron Donald. That's not on the list. All right, so that's good news. I don't think he can. You know what though? I didn't think Ozzy could. So there's that part, man. That was my first thought. Was like, Ozzy died? Crap. That means it is coming for all of us, man. Like if there was anybody that was getting away with it, it was Ozzy, dude. So, man, bummer town. I didn't mean to hurt my own feelings. It made me sad, man. I'm a big old metalhead out here. That's a bummer. All right. Yeah. Also, Tyrann Mathieu, he has announced his retirement at 33 years old this week. Honey Badger, all time against the Rams, went 4-7. No matchups against the Rams as a member of the Chiefs or Texans. It was only with the Cardinals and the Saints. But 1-5 against the LA Rams, meaning for these last 9 seasons, only had the 1 dub over the Rams, but 3-2 before that. So for the St. Louis Rams. So yep, 4-7 record all time. Tyrann Mathieu, peace on out, dude. Honey Badger does care. All right, a little bit at least, enough to leave the game at 33 years old. All right. Jimmy Graham also announced his retirement. He hasn't played since the 2023 season with the New Orleans Saints. And all-time against the Rams, 3-9. What a loser, Jimmy Graham. Lost to the Rams at least once at each of his stops, which includes the New Orleans Saints, the Seattle Seahawks, the Green Bay Packers, and the Chicago Bears. So that is it for your news. Coming up, Fan Quesos. It's Ram Showcase. Welcome back, Ram Showcase. My name is Sheriff Joe Bags. Let's go ahead and get into our fan quesos. Didn't get any over on the Facebook page. That is 2 weeks in a row that I didn't get any from the Facebook page. We'll probably go ahead and stop posting there. Totally cool. No worries. I just don't whatever. We're only going to get them on YouTube. That's where the posts are going. So starting now, if you do want to get your fan quesos in, make sure you are following Ram Showcase on YouTube. Just youtube.com/Ram Showcase. So check it out there. And those posts do come out a few days ahead of time, so you can get those questions in, then I get them answered on the pod. So you can also reach out to me directly. I know we've had people do that in the past. Just send me messages of their fan quesos. So however you want to get them over to me, but those posts look real weird when it's like, hey, ask me a bunch of questions, and then there's no comments. Makes me feel weird. All right, so so we're going over to Twitter or YouTube. I mean, and not a whole lot for you actually. As I think we're getting into right now, we're just in that. Like, obviously, we're getting into the craziness, but I think we're in that little bit where even fans are kind of like, all right, it's about to start. Let me take a step back. Like, and I'm not trying to trash anybody in your level of fandom. I would never, dude. I'm never going to tell anybody how to be a fan. There's no wrong way. That's the best part. But it's I don't want to say casual either. That sounds rude. But like people who are less intense, I would say, is this is the time for them to kind of pull back, enjoy the last bit of your summer because football's coming up. So, but then the people that are really intense like myself, we're getting in there. So that's good news. We're gonna go ahead and start though. Fan quesos. This one coming from Paul. When will Coach McVay finally move on from that haircut? Dude, what? Is it a problem? What? I don't understand. First of all, I think haircuts are for losers, personally. But Paul, I don't know how to answer this. I think ultimately I've got zero emotions towards Sean McVay's haircut, so I positive or negative. I've never even thought about it. Is it bad? Is it a bad haircut? Should he change it? Should he grow it out? That, I think, would be hilarious. I think he would look like a dork with long hair, I'll be honest. Who doesn't, though? Who doesn't? Moving on. Payo time. What are your expectations for Stetson Bennett this preseason? Solid question here. Stetson Bennett, Benettar. Yeah, coming in, is this year 3? Is it 3 or 4? He's getting in there, though. But I would say that for Stetson Bennett, my own thoughts on Stetson Bennett going into the preseason is I'm just excited to see where he's at. I'm excited to see where he's at with the offense, how good he's feeling out there. But obviously, too, I mean, he's going to be with a backup line, backup receivers, a vanilla game plan that's probably being called by somebody not Sean McVay. So I also think that expectations do need to be tempered on, like, if he goes 13 of 25, we don't need to be like, he sucks, get him out of here. And it's like, well, that wasn't a real game plan. And also, those aren't the receivers he'd be throwing to. He doesn't got Devontae out there, dude. He's got Puka out there. He doesn't have Ferguson or Higbee. You know, like, he doesn't have his offensive line out there. So, like, it's hard to judge the preseason. But I think that what we're looking for and my expectations of Stetson Bennett is just a comfort level. How that pressure is coming in and how he reacts to it. How he reacts to the line and coming up and just being like, and maybe checking some things. I don't know how much we'll be checking in the preseason and stuff, but I think that's kind of what I'm looking for, is just a comfort level. That's my expectation, is to see an increase, a jump in the comfort from Stetson Bennett. He's becoming a veteran now, and he knows this offense because he's been around it for a while. He knows this roster. He knows Stafford. He knows McVay. He knows what is intended to happen out there on the football field. So I'm really excited to see that. I would say outside of, like, I mean, numbers and stuff like that, I just don't think are that important. You know what I mean? When he's going to be out here throwing footballs to Drake Stoops, no ill comments intended, it's not the same as throwing to Puka Nacua and having your big guys out there, because this Rams offensive line is absolutely massive. But, I mean, that's what I would say. I'm looking for a vibe. I'm looking for the energy. You know what I mean? I feel like that's overused. I overuse it for sure, but I'm looking for that, man. I'm looking to see the how he carries himself out there. I think that'll be important. I really do. I think he makes the roster. I think that he sticks around. Unless something crazy happens and he looks really good, and there's a team like the Saints that are like, "Yo, we'll try him. Like, we'll send a flyer on him, dude." Because I don't think that's impossible. I don't think it's impossible that we trade Jimmy Garoppolo, depending on how Stetson Bennett looks. I would say unlikely. I'm not anticipating it, but, like, I don't think that's impossible. That the Saints are out here like, "Yo, we need a quarterback, and Jimmy G looks sick. Let's go try to get him." You know what I mean? If we can get a 2 for Jimmy Garoppolo, do it, dude. I mean, obviously, you want that insurance behind Matthew Stafford. But again, if Stetson Bennett is looking solid in preseason and you feel like he can be your QB2 and handle that bidness, and also, I mean, the goal is to not need QB2 at all. You know what I mean? Like, as long as Stafford's good to go, QB2, we're hoping, is an irrelevant position on the roster. So that's what I would say I'm expecting from Stetson Bennett, is an increase in comfort level and kind of just seeing how he carries himself. Next one here coming from there was one really good one I wanted to end on. Okay, I got it. So what would it be like working with Puka Nacua? This one coming from Rams House, which by the way, making videos again. Yeah, Rams House. Whose house? Absolutely love to see it. At Rams House 102 is where you can follow. Check them out, dude. Obviously one of the coolest like most genuine Rams creators out there, and took some time away with busyness and all that stuff. But back to making some videos. I don't know how consistent that'll. Oh, not consistent. I don't want to say any words that feel negative, but like I don't know how often it'll be and stuff like that. But it is really exciting to see those videos back, transitions and cool stuff like that. Here I just sit here and talk. So it's cool stuff, man. I'm very excited that Rams House is back. But what would it be like working with Puka Nacua? Probably so bad for managers. So bad for managers, dude. We would get nothing done. I already get very little done. You add somebody as fun as Puka Nacua into my office, game over, dude. Send me home. It's not gonna be busy, man. But I would say we probably get a lot of snacks. I think Puka's like a McDonald's kind of guy. So he is, dude, can you imagine? Just wrap your brain around this real fast. If Puka Nacua stopped messing around and didn't forget 25% of the plays and didn't eat McDonald's and stuff like that, like he would go to the hall. They would start making his gold jacket now, dude. They would start making that now. So I mean, that's crazy, man. When he said he doesn't know 25% of the plays, he's like at least a fourth. It's like every 1 out of every 4. I have no idea what I'm doing. That's so good, dude. That's so funny. Cause like to only know the play 75% of the times and still be probably the best wide receiver. I'll give you one of the best wide receivers in football. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. Good luck if he ever buckles in, dude, and straps up and starts really taking it serious. You know what I mean? Because it does feel like Puka Nacua is out here just messing around. And he's just messing around his way into a Hall of Fame career right now. Crazy, dude. So, yeah, you bring that energy to my office, we ain't getting nothing done, dude. Nothing. Next one here from Rams House. Favorite Rams non-head coach of all time? I'm guessing you mean coaches. My favorite Rams non-head coach of all time. Aubrey Pleasant is absolutely in the conversation. I love Aubrey Pleasant. I think that he is one of the best coaches on the team, one of the best human beings in the organization, an incredible coach, an incredible person. If you can find a bad thing to say about Aubrey Pleasant, first of all, don't bring it to me because I will defend him. But he's certainly up there, man. And as far as non-head coaches go, trying to think back a little bit here. Mike Waffle was absolutely awesome. Coach Bones, dude, that one's up there. I loved Bones, man. He was cool. Fossil, man. I would say Thomas Brown was up there for me. I absolutely loved him. Yarbs, dude. Top tier, dude. Love Yarbs. There's not a lot of guys to dislike, I would say, on this team or as far as non-head coaches go. I'm trying to go further back. My brain's kind of blanking a little bit right now on some of the guys that I've liked in the past, some of the coaches I've really liked in the past, because a lot of those, too, were just like bad eras and not a lot to love, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think right now, because you say all time, I don't know how far back I can go and give you a true answer of like a good OC that I really liked. This almost seems like a question that I've got some phone of friends, you know what I mean? Like we'd be like, who's the best Rams coach, non-head coach of all time? And probably get some pretty sick answers there if I phoned friends. But yeah, I'm gonna go with all of those. Thomas Brown, Aubrey Pleasant, Eric Yarber, Mike Waffle, Coach Bones. There's a good list there, man. Hard to narrow it down, in fairness. I think I said the most positive things about Aubrey Pleasant, so I think that you can deduce that that's probably my real answer. I wish, too, that he would just stick around and then take over for McVay when McVay wants to retire, which hopefully isn't for a lot of years. So this is pretty fun. Next one here come from Payo Time. Also, by the way, I don't think I'm hyping up Rams house over here. Payo Time, also one of the best Rams YouTubers in the business right now for sure. Does the watch parties if that's something you're into. I'm just locking it in, dude. Let's do it, man. I am gonna bring back the pregame live streams this year. I miss doing them. I thought they were fun. I do like the Rams game day to be my own, but that's also a pretty non-intensive thing to do. So I can just do it. It's fun for me too. I just like chatting Rams and stuff like that. We'll probably try to do weekly giveaways like we used to do as well. So check it on out. Speaking of giveaways, I got to get with Tuna on that. Tuna and the Sheriff going to have some giveaways here really soon. We got to figure that out. More details on socials headed your way when we figure those details out. But here, Payo Time. Situation. Oh, wait. That's the next one. I want to go to this one from Payo Time. Do you remember the Jacob Harris preseason hype that went nowhere a few years ago? Sure do. Or Chris Garrett hype. Solid pull, dude. Great pull. Do you think that there will be a player Rams fans get stoked for that ultimately amounts to nothing? I unfortunately can't really give you a guess for this season because I think that we're in a situation right now where I don't have anybody in my mind that I'm looking at as like, oh, people like him, and I don't think he's going to be good. Like a Nelson Spruce. And I've got nothing, I'm not trying to talk trash here, but like a Nelson Spruce, where like, I liked Nelson Spruce. He was from Colorado, played at CU and stuff like that. That's cool. Being a Colorado kid myself, that's fun for me. It's like, oh, he played in the state I live in, which is all our connection is. But I remember thinking that one, and it was like, he's probably not going to pan out though. Like like I was excited for it. I was posting on socials and stuff like that, but like in my head, it was like, it's probably not going to work out. Like, but whatever, it happens. Like he's exciting, it's fun. Like it's fun to talk about and stuff like that. But so yeah, Nelson Spruce in there as well. Jacob Harris, that's a really good one, man. I think the overreaction on Jacob Harris's preseason it needs to be studied, I think. It was one of those where it's like, yeah, he's playing well, but like relax. Like it's like this is preseason, man. We talking about practice, man. So yeah, it was one of those for Jacob Harris. Chris Garrett, I think decently similar in that situation as well, where it's kind of like, well, look at the competition, look at what's going on, guys. Like we don't need to overreact on any preseason information at all, good or bad. It doesn't matter even if if people are not looking as good as we want them to. It's like, well, they may already be locked in based on what they're doing in practice, and I think that's more important, especially from the Rams' perspective. These games are something we have to do, and it's good to get situations in there, but in practice, you can create the situation, and you can run it 5 times in a row if you want to. You can create a situation where, hey, it's third and goal from the 7, and we're going to run this play. Okay, 3rd and goal from the 7, now we're going to run this play. And then you could just keep doing that, you know what I mean? So I think the Rams have, in recent years, found more value in setting up situations in training camp and on the practice field that you don't necessarily need the preseason games to evaluate your own team. And we also do a lot of joint practices as well. So you also get the opposite competition, which you can agree on. Hey, we're going to work on this today. You know what I mean? Like we heard last year at the Rams, we're like, we don't just kick it out of the end zone, dude. Every ball, put it out of the end zone, touchbacks all day. We don't need to see our kick coverage. It's fine. We're getting those reps in practice. We got that information last year, which was very cool. But looping back into your question here, I don't think that I have anybody that I, at least right now, will say, like, this is too much hype. We need to pull back. That actually, very realistically, may change when we get into preseason, man. So I almost want to, challenge you, Peo, if that is your real name. It's not. To ask this question again, like, maybe after the second preseason game, and, like, do we have anybody? Or you can say, is this player falling into that same category back when, but from these guys or whatever, where it's like, we're going to get all excited and it's not going to work out. You know what I mean? So that's absolutely a possibility. I would say, ask me that question when we do get closer and at least we have that evidence. You know what I mean? But I don't have any names for you right now where I would say that's a possibility, that this guy's going to be a bummer, but he's going to look sick in preseason. That's really hard to predict. That's a hard forecast. You know what I mean? I live in Colorado, dude. I know a thing or two about hard forecasts. All right, it's impossible. Those mountains over there, dude, they mess you up. Let's see here. And last one here come from Payo Tom. Situation. You are camping in the Colorado. You weren't that weird. Hold on. You are camping in Colorado with former Rams players Robert Woods, Alec Ogletree, and Josh Forrest. They ask you to settle a heated argument about who has the last name best suited for your location while camping. Because you're from Colorado, and we will say your campsite is close to you. Who do you pick? I love this question, man. This brings the Rams into my home state, which is fun for me. It's like before we played the Chiefs in 2018, practicing at the Air Force Academy, staying at the Broadmoor Hotel, dude. And they were like going to the Walmart that's down the street from my job and stuff. Like seeing like John Johnson post videos of walking through the Walmart that I work real close to was like, yo, this is the best week of my life. Me and my friend actually, Aaron, we went when we found out what plane the Rams were on, and we showed up to the airport. Hell yeah, we did. I was hitting up Miles Simmons, and I was like, yo, where you guys at? He was like, we just landed. And he's like, are you guys coming through the terminal? Like, what's going on? He's like, oh, they're actually busing us from the tarmac. I was like, dang it! And so we left, and then we would just watch the buses drive by. It was awesome, dude. What can you say? That was super cool. It was freezing, so cold, but it was absolutely awesome. And then I stayed in Broadmoor, which I did get a tip on ahead of time, which is cool, man. You just know random people. I had like a friend who had a friend who worked at the hotel and was like, hey, we had some Ram scouts out here, like area scouts. Like they were actually looking for a hotel. And it being Stan Kroenke, it was like, oh, no expenses are going to be spared here. And the Broadmoor Hotel is the hotel in Colorado Springs. That is like our Cecil? I don't know. That's probably not the best. That's probably not the best hotel in LA. If I had to guess, it's probably not the one that everybody's going to. It's the only one I know. I know that much. But yeah, that's like the one. Presidents stay there, and probably Oprah and stuff like that. Weird example, but yeah. So bringing it back to Colorado with these three: Robert Woods, nicknamed Bobby Trees; Alec Ogletree, nicknamed Tree; Josh Forrest, no nickname. Let's see here. So it's a heated argument. So we got angry Rams out here, all right? And there are angry Rams out in Colorado. I live very close to Garden of the Gods as well. There are Rams out there. I will try to steal one someday. You see one walking around in the background here, just know that's Deacon. And he's my friend. So, or Merlin. I don't know what I would go with. Deacon or Merlin, one of those two. Very, very iconic. Back to it. Okay, Alec Ogletree, nickname Tree. He is the one that you need to adjust the name the most. So Tree's out. All right. Alec, and Alex can go sit off to the side. I'm assuming wives are here. And they can go off and sit to the side. While I debate Bobby Trees and Josh Forrest, Robert Woods and Josh Forrest. Okay. So we do have forests in Colorado. Obviously. We have Black Forest that is not too far from me. But I'm going to the mountains here. I'm going like, I'm saying that, like, for example, the last time I went camping was a little offshoot of Woodland Park. And we were up there somewhere fishing and all that jazz. But, oh, man. I'm stalling. I don't know if you can tell. You can. It's okay. Woods or forest? That's so hard, dude. That's so hard. I almost want to put in Quentin Lake in this, by the way, because there's so many really, really good lakes that when you're camping that you would see also. I would boot him out, but he would be above Tree. He'd be above Alec Ogletree. So I'm gonna add somebody. He pulled up late. We were like, "What, Quentin? What are you doing here?" Yeah, Captain Q, get on in here. And then he joined in, and it was like, "Well, lake. It's close, but not quite. There is a lake right there, but we're good. No stalling anymore." I think from here, if I'm between Robert Woods and Josh Forrest, I think I'm going to go with Robert Woods for a few reasons. The name, Robert Woods, Bobby Trees. He's got the nickname that pairs with it. That I think is important. Josh Forrest, got nothing bad to say. Kentucky linebacker, dude, coming in. Good pull, dude. I love that. But yeah, I'm gonna say that it's a close second for Josh Forrest. So hopefully that cools the heat down a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna go because Robert Woods is nicknamed Bobby Trees. That's what I'm gonna lock in. I'm gonna say that Robert Woods has the name best suited for a Colorado camping trip with Sheriff Joe Bags. And yo, you ever want to come out, Bobby Trees or Peo? Hey, dude, come on out, dude. For Peo, dude, let's do this. Come out, dude. Let's go camping. We'll get Rams house. We'll go out to the woods, man. We'll go have a cool Colorado time. And I know you can handle it too, Mr. Canada. So it's not going to be too chilly for you, which is good news as well. Boom. Thank you guys so much for your fan quesos. We are right in there, man. We're getting to preseason action. I believe, is it next week that I'll be talking about, that I'll be doing a preview for preseason? Okay. Okay, cool. I'm glad this guy isn't mad. I'm trying to buy this Rams license plate off of the Facebook Marketplace, and the guy just hit me up too late, and I was like, I can't go now, man. I'm doing podcasts and stuff. Let me see here if next week is a preview. That's crazy if it is, dude. That's nuts. Yeah, so August 9th is our first preseason game, which I need to look at the calendar now. You guys are just going to watch this sausage get made. Let's see. August 9th. So we'll do... No, we got one more week. One more week of a regular show, and then we'll get into preseason previews. Yo, we are here, man. Hall of Fame game is 1 week from recording, so next Thursday, July 31st. Lions and Chargers getting it down in Canton, Ohio. Absolutely love to see it, man. So that's good stuff. We're there, dude. Happy football, dude. Happy football, Rams fans. Happy football. Merry football season, dude. This is a killer time. I'm super excited about it. I was actually saying today at work that it's like I almost, as much as I want the season to start, obviously, I'm in a little bit of this anticipation is real fun. And we got a pretty good football team going into the 2025 season. This anticipation right now has been just like, it's so exciting to know that we're like a very much in the Super Bowl conversation going into the season. It's like games could ruin that, technically. So I'm kind of just fired up right now, dude. I'm kind of living in this right now. I'm sitting in, man. I'm in no rush to get through this season. I'm in no rush to get to February, watch the Rams beat up on, we'll say the Ravens in the Super Bowl. I don't know yet. Like, I'm not there yet, dude. I'm excited for today, dude. I'm excited for training camp. We are in right now. First open practice for fans came today, so that's good news, man. If you get out there, share pictures. I absolutely love it. Blow me up with pictures, man. That's absolutely cool. No hatred here. Send them on, dude. That's absolutely awesome. So yeah, and then again, make sure you follow Tuna, as his training camp coverage is going to be one of the best that you can find from one of the most genuine human beings that are covering the Rams. You can get it straight from him. Boots on the ground, dude. Boots on the ground. So you gotta love to see that, man. I'll share some links below wherever you can hear or see me, so you can follow this training camp tuna camp, if you are interested in that. All right, that is going to do it for me. I am Sheriff Joe Bags. Make sure you follow on all your favorite social media at Rams Showcase, at Sheriff Joe Bags, ramshowcase.com. And again, we are getting into regular scheduling as far as chaos time. So welcome to it, dude. Welcome to the madness. I'm your host, Sheriff Joe Bags. Boom, dude. Heck yeah. All right, that's going to do it for me. I am Sheriff Joe Bags. This has been Rams Showcase on Sports War Radio and the Fan-Sided Network. For those of you who aren't Rams fans, our thoughts and prayers are with you. For those of you who are Rams fans, thank you so much for watching, and go Rams.